Nancy Kulp, often misspelled as Culp, born on August 28, 1921 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, lived a life that blended intellectual rigor, artistic excellence, and moral conviction. Best remembered as the sharp-witted Miss Jane Hathaway on the Beverly Hillbillies, Culp was far more than a beloved television character. She was a highly educated woman in an era when such achievements were rare for women, a performer who brought depth and nuance to every role, and a citizen who believed deeply in public service. Behind her composed exterior was a woman navigating the constraints of mid-20th century Hollywood while remaining true to her principles. Her story is not only one of fame, but of resilience, privacy, and purpose, an enduring reminder that impact is often made quietly, with intelligence and grace rather than spectacle. Foundations of a curious mind. Raised in a family that valued learning and civic awareness, Nancy Kulp developed an early love for literature, language, and public affairs. This intellectual curiosity shaped her worldview long before Hollywood entered the picture. She attended Florida State College for Women, where she honed her analytical and literary skills, then went on to earn a master's degree in English and French from the University of Miami. At a time when women were often discouraged from pursuing advanced education, Culp's academic achievements set her apart. Her studies refined not only her intellect, but also her voice, measured, deliberate, and authoritative. This combination of education and presence would later become her signature on screen, allowing her to portray intelligent, capable women with authenticity. Education was not merely a credential for Culp, it was the foundation of her confidence and independence. An unconventional path to Hollywood. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Nancy Culp did not arrive in Hollywood chasing stardom. Her initial work was behind the scenes, employed in public relations at a film studio. This experience gave her a practical understanding of the entertainment industry and its machinery, demystifying fame before she ever stepped in front of a camera. When she transitioned into acting in the early 1950s, she brought with her professionalism and discipline rather than ambition alone. Early film appearances in Shane, 1953, Sabrina, 1954, and A Star is Born, 1954, showcased her ability to command attention even in supporting roles. Casting directors quickly recognized her as a performer who could convey intelligence, irony, and emotional restraint. Culp's Hollywood ascent was gradual but deliberate, built on skill rather than spectacle, crafting a distinct screen presence. Nancy Culp's acting style was defined by precision and subtlety. With her deep, articulate voice and composed demeanor, she excelled in roles that required wit, intellect, and emotional control. Rather than relying on exaggerated expressions, she conveyed meaning through timing, inflection, and posture. This made her especially effective in comedic roles where restraint amplified humor. Audiences sensed that her characters were thinking, observing, and often quietly judging the chaos around them. In an industry that frequently reduced women to stereotypes, Culp carved out a niche as the smart woman, competent, sardonic, and self-possessed. Her performances reflected not only acting talent, but lived experience, shaped by education and awareness of social dynamics. This authenticity resonated deeply with viewers, even when her characters occupied supporting roles rather than center stage. Miss Jane Hathaway and television immortality Culp's most enduring role came in 1962 when she was cast as Miss Jane Hathaway on the Beverly Hillbillies. As the efficient, unflappable secretary to banker Milburn Drysdale, she served as the show's intellectual anchor amid its rural absurdity. From 1962 to 1971, Culp's performance balanced sharp comedy with subtle humanity, making Miss Hathaway both funny and deeply relatable. Her impeccable timing and deadpan delivery earned her an Emmy nomination and cemented her place in television history. The character's intelligence and professionalism stood in quiet contrast to the era's typical portrayals of women on sitcoms. Miss Jane Hathaway was not defined by romance or frivolity, but by competence and loyalty. Through this role, Culp became a cultural icon, admired for portraying intelligence as both powerful and entertaining. Beyond a single iconic role, although the Beverly Hillbillies defined her public image, Nancy Culp refused to be confined by one character. After the series ended, she continued working steadily in television and theater, appearing in shows such as The Lucy Show, Petticoat Junction, and Sanford and Son. Each performance reinforced her reputation as a reliable, thoughtful actor, capable of elevating any production. Yet even as her career remained active, Kulp began to look beyond entertainment for fulfillment. She was keenly aware of the influence public figures could wield and felt a responsibility to contribute more directly to society. Acting had given her visibility. She now sought purpose beyond applause. This transition marked a turning point, revealing her belief that citizenship and conscience mattered as much as professional success. Entering the political arena. In 1984, Nancy Kulp made a bold and unexpected move by running for the U.S. House of Representatives in Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District. Her campaign focused on education, environmental protection, and social welfare, issues she believed demanded thoughtful, humane leadership. Though she ultimately lost the election, her candidacy was historic. At a time when celebrity involvement in politics was often dismissed, Kulp approached the race with seriousness and preparation, drawing on her academic background and civic values. She refused to rely on fame alone, instead engaging voters through policy discussions and public forums. Her run for office underscored her belief that public service was a moral obligation. Even in defeat, she demonstrated courage by stepping into an arena where criticism was inevitable and sincerity often rare. Choosing a quieter life. Following her political campaign and gradual retirement from acting, Nancy Kulp intentionally withdrew from public life. She sought solace in rural living, embracing a quieter existence that allowed reflection and personal fulfillment. Away from Hollywood's demands, she returned to lifelong passions such as reading, writing, and caring for animals. This period of her life reflected a conscious rejection of constant visibility in favor of inner peace. Later, in Palm Springs, California, she remained civically engaged through local charity work, including involvement with animal welfare organizations like the Humane Society of the Desert. Though no longer in the spotlight, Kulp continued to live by her values, channeling compassion into tangible action. Her retreat was not an escape, but a recalibration, proof that fulfillment need not be loud to be meaningful. Privacy, identity, and hidden histories. Nancy Kulp's personal life was marked by discretion, particularly regarding her romantic relationships. Like many women in mid-20th century Hollywood, she lived under intense pressure to conform to rigid social norms. Over the years, biographers and historians have suggested that Kulp may have had romantic relationships with women, including rumored connections to figures such as Tallulah Bankhead, Marlene Dietrich, and Barbara Stanwyck. None of these relationships were ever publicly confirmed, and Kulp herself guarded her privacy carefully. What matters most is not speculation, but context. Hollywood was an environment where openness could cost careers. Kulp's discretion reflects the realities faced by queer individuals of her generation. Her life adds depth to the broader, often hidden history of LGBTQ communities who built meaningful lives under restrictive circumstances. Strength in the face of illness. In 1990, Nancy Kulp was diagnosed with cancer, a battle she faced with characteristic resolve and dignity. A lifelong smoker, she endured aggressive treatments as her health steadily declined. True to her nature, she chose to keep much of this struggle private, leaning on inner strength rather than public sympathy. Friends and admirers later recalled her composure and grace during this difficult time, noting that she refused to be defined by illness. Even as her condition worsened, she maintained her sense of self, intellectual, compassionate, and composed. Her approach to illness mirrored her approach to life, realistic, private, and resilient. This final chapter revealed the depth of her character, showing that courage does not always announce itself, but often exists in quiet endurance. Legacy of intelligence and integrity. Nancy Kulp passed away on February 3, 1991, at the age of 69 in Palm Desert, California. She was laid to rest in Pennsylvania, a symbolic return to her roots. Today, she is fondly remembered as Miss Jane Hathaway, a character who helped redefine how intelligence could be portrayed on television. Yet her legacy extends far beyond a single role. Kulp was an academic, an actress, a political candidate, an advocate, and a private individual who navigated her era with integrity. Her life reminds us that impact is not measured solely by fame, but by consistency of values. In remembering Nancy Kulp, we honor not only a television icon, but a woman who lived thoughtfully, courageously, and on her own terms.